The first film in the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix has finally arrived. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin. Thank you guys for stopping by. If this is the first time you are on my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for up and coming movie content. Question of the video: did you read Fear Street by R.L Stine as a kid? Let me know in the comment section down below. I was really looking forward to this event, having one film each week for the Fear Street trilogy. The first one coming out July 2nd, then the next two coming out after that. And the fact that it is targeted towards adults and a hard R slasher film got me really excited to see it. After a series of brutal slayings, a teen and her friends take on an evil force that's plagued their notorious town for centuries. Right away, this film gave me a serious Scream vibe. I absolutely was enthralled with the opening of this movie. I turned the movie on and then I saw kind of how the setting was and the era, the costume designs, the overall tone, and I was leaning forward and I was getting so invested in watching it. And it just felt like the opening of the first Scream movie. And that's a good thing. And from there on, it kind of maintains a slasher style of a horror film, but also mixes in this mythology and this witch and how this town is plagued by all these slayings that have people that just kind of go crazy and slay a bunch of people. And they're all kind of connected. So we have these group of teenagers that are trying to get to the bottom of it because one of them is affected by it. It mixes in the slasher style of horror films with more of like a supernatural kind of film regarding like witches and different things like that. And I feel like it did a nice job of combining both. This film is intense. It is brutal from beginning to end. A lot of the kills feel inspired by big budget horror films from the 90s. The tone of the movie, the costume designs, the characters, how they communicate with each other on chat on the computer, it all screams a 90s film. It takes place in 1994, and I just kind of got lost in that time period. But once we learn more about this town and all of the slayings previously, we start to really get invested into the story, and the story itself becomes really intriguing. Watching these friends kind of navigate through the small town and learn of past killings and try to protect themselves did provide that sense of urgency for this group of friends as they are trying to protect themselves. So I liked that story, and I liked that mystery behind it. It did seem like it was setting up the sequel, which will take place prior to this film, and then the third film will take place in the 1600s. So I'm really excited to check out the next two films. But you could tell that there is this mystery, and there's still a lot we don't know about this witch and this small town and everything that's going on. So while they do provide a lot of answers, it always keeps that mystery. But the way that it ends still gives you a lot of questions. And it has a trailer for the second film, which looks super cool. Feels like it's going to be like a Friday the 13th kind of film. But Fear Street 1994 Part 1 started off this trilogy with a bang. The characters of Josh, Samantha, Dina, I felt like they all had great chemistry as they were trying to help each other out. But mixed in is some really good bloody sequences, which I love that it targeted adults, knowing that the people who most likely read it were probably kids and teenagers, and they are now adults. So don't make it kid friendly. Make it for us, people who actually have read the stories, want to see something more mature. So I'm really happy with how this trilogy started. I'm really looking forward to the second part. I'm very curious about the third part, which should explain a lot of things for this first movie. So I like how it's working its way backwards and then giving us answers along the way. But this first film started off very bloody, inspired by a lot of 90s horror films. I love that mixture of supernatural story with that slasher style It gave me everything I wanted, and I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I'm a huge fan of slasher films, not so much supernatural horror films, but the opening I absolutely loved. And the characters are a lot of fun. Just the story is very mysterious and left me wondering what's going to happen next. So I'm going to go ahead and give Fear Street 1994 a B. Thank you guys for checking my review for Fear Street 1994, the first film in this trilogy. Stay tuned next week. I got a review for the second film, and the week after that, a review for the third film. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.